Эй, всем здорово, всем привет, всем хорошего дня, как ваши дела? Надеюсь, у вас все круто и все хорошо. Так, что это у нас? О, калибровочка, небольшая произошла, сейчас, ну-ка. Так, что не так? Ну ладно, хрен с ним, короче, будет вот так сегодня, забей. Так, что у нас на повестке дня? На повестке дня у нас до прохождения Ганслингера. Угу. Так, ну давай запускать Call of Judges. Call of Juarez, точнее. Прошу прощения. Наши любимые Хуары. Ту-ту-ту-ту. Так, история. Продолжить. Мы остановились как раз, значит, на прижучивании, как там, Боба, того самого.
I've been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
Погнали.
Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Тот самый Боб.
Part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right.
А чё нельзя бегать?
They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the
нифига.
train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Так, ну хорошо. О, бегать можно. Это хорошо. Поехали.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge. What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Такие не
Well, I
смешные.
made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them.
А чё мне за пекарь
From
сейчас?
there, I had to
Очень хороший.
negotiate an even more precarious route.
Сейчас. Секундочку. Ой. Багулины. Бывает. Револьвер с костяной ручкой. Ну, блин, он прикольно, по крайней мере, выглядит.
First, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Слушай, а он меткий, кстати. Довольно-таки меткий. Тут ничего нету. Ладно. Ябада-баду!
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Все? Больше никого?
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
You can't hide from me.
Кто там? Хорошо. Хорошо.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
А, дробаш. Дробаш хорошо тоже. Ух. Не-не-не-не, тихо. Спокойно. Дробаш пока мне не нужен.
Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Хорош. Так, что здесь у нас? Стрельба по брошенному динамиту. Ну, такое. Не, херня. Во, вот это хорошо. Во, оно. Это я хочу. И секретутку сразу нашли. Хорош. Так, а что дальше? Наверх? Угу.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You mean
hand.
like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Да что ж такое? Опять не со стыковки-то. Аля!
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome.
Хорош.
As usual.
Как обычно, как всегда.
Who the hell is that?
Хорошо.
Retreat! Retreat!
Что там было? А. Тут никого, да? Ну, конечно, как и всегда. Даже не удивительно.
He's killing everybody! You ain't seen
Хорош. Самородок где-то рядом. Где этот самородок? Я его найду. Ладно, наверное, внутри. Ага.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
О, откуда? Оба! Спокойно.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis. determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang.
О, я
Right
ж
after
это, не
Sundance,
готов
I mean.
был. Тихо.
And Kid Curry. And maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Хорош.
That very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
Нормас. Ду-ду-ду-ду-ду-ду-ду. Пиу-пиу.
They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Нормас. Хорошо. Это было хорошо. В честном бою побежден.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back
Снова в
together.
сборе.
Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail,
Ага,
as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
ага. Ну ладно.
That kid Curry's kinda crazy.
История набирает обороты.
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
Оу, понял. Тихо. Твою калитку. Да ёпс туда. Короче, надо с винтовки идти. Короче, на дальние прямо они совсем плохо. А, бляха.
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot.
Да жёванный
I just
крот.
started taking those bastards down.
Мышка. Тихо. А, вон ты где. Пошел нахер.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by,
Ни
plotting
хрена.
something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Ну да. А у меня с костяной ручкой. Ну ладно. О, секретос. Ладно, сойдет. А, новый уровень? Рили? Сюда. Это чё, казнь ближайших врагов, попадать в голову? Прикол. Чтоб было. Для опытничей. Так, нам надо... А,
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
так, и что делать? Надо им помешать.
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting
типа,
those
чтобы не
bastards.
попасть случайно, понятно. Это проблема. О,
And I
разоружить.
made it a point to remove any dynamite that I came across. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Blow us up now. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks.
No.
Guess there's always
Разоружить.
desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
И нахер.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one.
Ага.
Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Бляха. Бляха. Там еще один был. Вообще ни хера не видно. Где там? А! Ядрёна вошь. Вон еще. Капец, этого я вообще не видел. Оу, тихо. Патроны. Наверху. Да, бляха. Там наверху где-то. Вон. Хорошо. Все? Блин, а музыка что не успокаивается? Кто-то еще здесь есть. О! Да. Хорош.
So, what happened then?
I had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
Так, добро. Есть. А, и, ну, конечно же.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Выстрелил по веревке. Пунь. Так. Воу. Откуда?
You ain't killing me.
Жопа. Все?
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Хорошо. Да, умри. Да я первый выстрелил уже. Там еще говно одно. Хорош. Ага. Ну, типа, вот это И кратко, это замедление времени просто. А, заодно подсвечивает, ага.
And realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Где секрет? Алло! Where is секрет? Во. Секретутка где-то рядом. Секретутка. А где секретутка? Подожди. Наверху. О, наверху. А как туда попасть? Я понимаю. А как попасть? Ха! А как попасть-то туда? А, во, подожди. Во. Оно. Да, мне не интересно на эти картинки смотреть. Куда? Окей.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
Говно, а как я тебе его... Где-то рядом самородок, блин. Подожди, мне надо самородок забрать. Все. Самородок забрал, это самое главное. Остальная херня. О, все.
The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks.
Бля.
My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Уже.
Get off the bridge!
I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today.
Ну, было рядом.
Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion.
Так,
But by
хорошо.
this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore.
Так. И чё?
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed! Send him to forget!
Finally, I found those boys, or more precisely, they found me.
Бляха. Надо все кнопки нажать. Ладно. Блин, тяжко. Вау.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel
Да
and pretty
бля.
well shielded.
Просто в жопу мне настрелял. Там сзади чел. Ау, бляха. Да ну жопа какая. Что происходит? Тот меня убил перед самым этим.
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Бля, а как? А как какать? Ай! Тихо. А. Да, бля. Пошел нахер.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Ну давай, давай.
You're gonna bleed!
Ну все, жопа. Не, это сложно. Вот эти дуэли, это вообще трындец.
As fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.
Хорош.
And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him. Those were his last words.
Понятно. Успех. Ну и ладно. Пофиг. Пройдено. Главное, что пройдено.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Ни хрена. 200.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40
40
grand for both of
тысяч.
them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
Капец, ни хрена. 40 тысяч. Ладно.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
Now, wait a second. How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
Да что ж такое? Да ладно. Обалдеть.
They hopped a freight train having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I
Так,
hopped the
подожди.
same train.
Прокачка. Золотая винтовка. И остается только вот это. Ладно, это как-нибудь потом прокачаем. Хорош.
The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I
The
reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Да иди ты нахер. Он приставучий. Сказал же, иди нахер. Чё непонятного? Я чё не по-русски сказал? Бляха. Этого не увидел. Говноеда. Оу-оу-оу. Хорош.
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you. I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Boy, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off.
But you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some bitch saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn Pinkerton!"
Да бляха. Капец там челов. Мое почтение.
I never worked for that lyman cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember.
I bet you are.
That's right. Run!
Ничего нету, да? Да бляха.
Come and get me, you got the guts!
Ага.
You know
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward.
Да откуда? Хорош. А, да? Понял.
I wondered if I was ever gonna find the front of that train. Or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Да как? Жесть какая-то. Да, бляха.
Shoot that stupid son of a bitch!
Так, ладно. Ага.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself. sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
Бля, да как?
It was definitely safer on the inside of the train.
В смысле? Как я умер? Ну... Ладно.
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
И чё?
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
Нормас. Нормас, сойдет.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the res and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then.
Ну, выходи. Так, значит, что у нас? Защита в ближайшем бою. Не можете быть пуленепробиваемым, но вы можете лучше защитить себя. Ага. Окей. Угу. Да это и херня. Опа. Так, вроде все. Да, бляха.
Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the red man. Like that time, Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I can still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul.
Да,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men. And the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
да, бляха.
So, did you ever find him? The man you are after?
Let me ask you something, Ben.
Хорош.
You ever think about death?
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Нормас.
Ooh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see? With ice cold hands taking hold of me. Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another day? Oh,
Ядрить.
won't you spare me over till another year?
So, are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing. I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close. I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight?
А чё, по нему не
Is
попасть?
that what it was? Justice?
А что я должен был сделать? Hello.
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
James gang. Right.
Жопа лысая.
I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin, and he was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite. On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
He's just one man. Put him down. Want that bastard dead.
Oh! Бляха. Да 6. Ладно.
That son of a bitch.
Бля, просто с томагавка захуярил меня. Вот говна кусок. Отсюда нельзя? Не долетит? Бляха. Ладно. Бляха. Пошел нахер. Да как? О, ура!
That old shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
Хорош.
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life. Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will. At this point, I just don't give a shit.
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here.
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
Самородок. Ля какой.
So what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch
Иди ты нахер. Да это жопа какая-то. Ну в смысле? Я же стреляю. Вот я прямо стрелял в голову. Почему нужно целиться намного ниже надо?
I was determined not to let that
Пипец.
murderer escape my revenge again. But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that son-of-a-bitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery.
I shout.
Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me. Son of a bitch! It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Asshole, give up! Would someone please kill him?
Бля. Да ну жопа.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
Да я его убил! Пипец.
Eventually, it was just me and Reed.
Только я и Рид. Ну-ка.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
Да, бля. Непонятно, что... Блин, ладно. Давай еще раз. Прямо в хлеборезку. Воздал ему. Ля. Праведник. Хорош.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame you never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him.
Да ладно. В смысле, эпизод 7?
6 months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
А зачем опять вернулись в 7-й эпизод? Чё за херня? Так я ж проходил. Бля. Начинается.
40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now. Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant. That son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am.
А, ёппересоте. Пробил. Есть пробитие. Вороны. Вороны.
Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I'd been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades.
А где самородок? Непонятно. Ха. Где-то тут. Бляха. А где? Ха. А где он тут лежал? Ядрить, его там вообще не видно. И куда? Ну, я надеюсь, что я правильно иду.
Just like me.
Ни
But I
хрена.
wasn't about to call it quits.
Хорош.
Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around. I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was onto them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
But you obviously prevailed since you're sitting down as the table.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Жесть.
Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here and there. Even over there.
So I am right. You are titched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition.
Оу. Тихо.
I
Хорош.
saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me.
Тихо. Хорош.
In the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hardin, just like I remembered him.
Ай, бля. Ай, бляха. Хорошо. Фух, блин. Рассказы, конечно, у тебя, батенька, интересные.
Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun.
Тихо.
But no ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Хорош.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond.
Тут без него вообще никак не выиграть, вообще. Это нереально.
Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Кто? Вижу. А, кто? Вижу.
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh,
Фу, бляха.
like a general leading his legion of the
Где?
dead.
You told us before that you saw him alive.
He was alive.
Бля. Не, ну это пипец. Это нереально, ты чё? Фу, бляха. Как от него? Вот последнее вообще нереально. Тихо. Бля. Ну это нереально, ты чё? Прикалываешься? Как его убью? Что-то жопа какая-то. Да, блять. Бля, пиздец. Тихо. Капец.
Called to me from afar.
Жесть.
It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
Пипец. Просто пипец. Ну здорово, чмырь. Фу, и как с ними?
Quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Edda's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
Ну, понятно. Сейчас буду с ними с двоими. Используйте QI для переключения фокуса. Жесть! Да жесть! Как сфокусироваться-то? Да жесть! Капец! Это нереально, вы чё, прикалываетесь? Мексиканские дуэли пошли. Чё за херота? Ну. Ну, а чё? Да алло. Да. What the fuck? Это нереально. Ты чё? Рофлик. Ну, куда он тебе целится-то? Бля. Да ёбаный... Да ну это нереально. Ну как? Я нажал. Жесть. Мексиканская дуэль, блин. Да давай. Да ну жесть. Я не знаю, как это пройти. Это нереально. Друг на друга все время пересматриваются они. Стопудово кто... Я нажимаю на выстрел. Блин, я не успеваю просто фокусироваться даже. Элементарно. Да, бляха. Просто жопа какая-то. Ну, фокусирование слабое у меня, да. Я одного убил. Это еле-еле получилось. И то потому что повезло. Короче, нужно их обоих держать в одном... Бля! Почти. Да. Не, это срака. Это сразу срака. Я просто не успеваю мышкой переглянуться между ними. Ну. Бля, надо было вправо уходить. Надо было вправо уходить. Ладно, забей. Мышка! Блин, мышкой просто не успеваю. Капец, это нереальное что-то. Очень тяжело. Мексиканская дуэль одна из самых тяжелых, блин. Жесть! Но было неплохо. Было неплохо. Да! Жесть! Капец! Я еле смог, вот реально, почти родил. Фух, бляха. Честно убитый зато. На мужика, просто на мужика. Эпилог? В смысле? Все?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob?
There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
А, ни хрена, он за ним пришел.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Жесть. Хорошая концовка. Выберите свою судьбу. Простим его.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Wanted to suss you out, Bob. See what kind of man you turned out to be. Maybe prod you into drawing on me. See, all those years on your trail turned me into a killer. Can't even remember who I was before you tried to murder me. You, on the other hand, walked that very same path in exactly the opposite direction.
What do you mean by that?
You think your life is worth sparing, Bob? Boy, what's your name again?
It's Eisenhower, sir. Dwight Eisenhower.
What do you plan to do with your life, Dwight Eisenhower?
Tomorrow I'll be leaving for West Point, sir.
So, you want to be a soldier? Well, then do it right, son. Don't tear down the world out of anger and spite like I did. You build it up. You do something decent with your life, you hear me?
Sir? Yes, sir.
I won't have it said I left you with nothing, Bob.
Ха! Вернул ему той же монетой. Хорош. А если месть, интересно? Вырос в рассказе, вот так все было. Окей. Так, ладно, можно скипнуть. Это хорошо. Доступна новая игра. Плюс. А можно продолжить, типа, с какой-то главы? Подожди, продолжить. Можно же продолжить?
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Ой, нет.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that.
Ой, блин, это долго. Ну ладно, давай попробуем на другую концовку пройти. Там не слишком долго, в принципе, ладно.
40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers.
Так и быть.
Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now.
А я его не убил, что ли?
Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant. That son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
Че?
That thought had indeed crossed my mind.
А, дробаш.
As did others.
С
For
узором.
instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after?
Это
By this
повеселее.
point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. A man with no family, no friends.
Бля, все равно он выжил,
Nothing
тварина.
could stop me from taking his life. I'd been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you
Billy
already
the
know.
Kids.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. Here I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades.
Пяу.
The town was falling apart, just like me. But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around.
А, вот сюда. Окей.
I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
Ах ты, тварь.
But you obviously prevailed since you're sitting here telling us today.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Охренеть. Не прошибало вообще их.
Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here and there. Even over there.
So I am right. You are titched in the head.
Mr. Graves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me.
Ай. Поля. Да как? На.
In the gates of the cemetery, I saw
Говно.
John Wesley Hardin, just like I remembered it.
Хорошо.
Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. But no ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking.
Ну, погнали. Я готов.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Roches, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Оу. Тихо. Хорошо.
Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Thought?
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh,
The Sundance Kid?
like a general leading his Legion of the Dead.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
Бля. Оп! На-най-на. Хоп. Да ёп, тудей. Как его убивать? Я вот это вообще не понимаю. Чем его убивать? Опа. Не, ну это попа. Это попа. Просто попа. Вот это вообще самый сложный момент. Как с ним биться? Одному богу известно. Бля! Бля, пиздец. Блин, просто не знаю. Чудом. Просто реально чудо. Бля, еще мексиканская дуэль этой гребаная. Пипец. Ублюдочная хуйня. Прошу прощения, но это по-другому никак не назвать. Это такое дерьмо, которого еще надо поискать. Ну, погнали. Такое дерьмо просто.
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Edda's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
Ой, жопа. Ну, погнали. Сделаем это еще раз. Ну! Бляха.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Хорош. Но они первые выхватили. Я с первого раза, прикинь. Честно, да? Честно же? Да, честно убит. Охренеть, это реально сделать, прикол. Это реально сделать. Обалдеть. Обалдеть. Это надо постоянно просто в эту игру играть, чтобы прям все смочь прямо в тютелька в тютельку.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob?
There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
Да уж.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Месть теперь. Месть. Погнали.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
Оу! С ним нужно будет в дуэль войти?
That's how
Серьезно?
you want it. So be it.
Пипец. Еще и с ним биться.
Holy shit!
Right, Molly, move against that wall.
Да ну нет. Жопа лысая.
Oh my god! Oh Jesus!
Вот так. К сожалению.
Did you know it was him all along?
Cassidy told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man until he revealed how much he knew about Ringo and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the last nail in that particular coffin.
I better go get the sheriff.
You okay, boy? You're looking mighty shook up.
Dwight, maybe you best go home. Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might head out myself at this juncture. Unless you want to stop me, Jack.
No, sir, Mr. Greaves.
So where you going now? Now that you had your revenge?
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk.
Ну да, все потерял. Да уж. Ну и концовочка. Мрачненькая такая. Call of Juarez. Прикольно. Ладно, на этом, походу, все пока. Блин, игрушечка обалденная. Я даже ее, наверное, может, как-нибудь сам буду проходить. Ну, то есть, как сказать-то? Вне стримов просто. Может быть, еще пару раз пройду. Ну так, чисто для себя. Чтоб было. Ну, это максимум, наверное. Так. И что у нас получается? Ну, у нас там потом биошок идет. Блин, я думаю, просто дольше будет прохождение, концовочка, потому что тогда мы проходили чуть ли не 3 часа, и там проходили только половину. Оказывается, там вообще чуть осталось, то есть 2 часика, и все. Ну, небольшая игрушечка на 7 часов буквально. от силы. Ну, прикольно. Нас ждет что? Значит, дальше нас ждет Биошок. Биошок 1, Биошок 2. 3 не знаю, будем ли перепроходить. Ну, можно, кстати. Можно его скачать. Сейчас тогда поставлю себе Infinite, да. Вот, 3. Ну, ладно. Скачаем, пусть будет. Вот, поставил на скачивание. 1 я уже настроил, но просто у меня времечка сейчас нету. Если я сейчас начну, то есть сейчас 3 часа, мне нужно будет убегать через час, через 2. Уже нужно... Ну, через 1,5 часа мне нужно будет убежать. За 1,5 часа мы там особо ничего не пройдем. А хочется как-то с полным погружением каким-то больше, вот. Поэтому, я думаю, будет логично просто сейчас на этом закончить. А в следующий раз уже полноценно начать уже с Биошока. И уже его полностью проходить 1, 2, 3 часть. Вот. Я думаю, это куда будет логичней. Поэтому на сегодня пока все. Всех обнял, приподнял. Хорошего дня. Запись, конечно же, будет на ютубчике. И уведомление о следующем стриме будет, конечно же, на нашем Дискорд-канале. Ссылочка есть в описании. Всех обнял, приподнял. Хорошего дня. Всех обнял, в попу поцеловал. И до скорых встреч. Всем пока-пока.